Hi there and welcome along to On the Whistle. I'm your host, Zayn Nabbi, and joining me as always is Peter Maritzburg's finest, Courtney Freese. Fantastic to have you here on the pod, our resident PSL winner, the only man who wins the Spirit Cup every year for the over 40s in Essex. How are you doing, my good man?
I'm doing fantastic, Zayn. As you can see, I haven't put the heating on in my house yet. I can see you have. I've got the jumper on. And I want to correct you, Zayn, it's over 45.
Over 45. I'm doing you a disservice. Well, listen, guys, as you know, we love getting big names around the braai. And today we have the esteemed company of Mr. Cavin Johnson. Cavin, thank you for joining us around the pod today. So exciting to get you on. A man who has experienced so much coaching in South Africa, not just in South Africa, headed across the world and helped Ahly and Pitso Mosimane create a dynasty there during his time in Egypt. And what we'll get into later, a man that Stephen Pienaar, one of South Africa's greatest exports, holds in the highest regard. Courtney and I talking about putting the heating on and off. It looks like you have very good natural heating around you. How are you doing today?
Oh, guys, thanks again for this modern technology that makes people speak in live terms. And yes, you guys are in freezing weather, but God is always good to South Africa, eh? Always. We have nice sunny times now, and yes, there's been a lot of rain, but most of the time we have good weather. Our evenings are probably the best in the world, and our days are probably the best for anybody who's looking for a suntan. I have a permanent one, my alpha, but Zayn, you still have your tan, and so does Courtney still have his tan. So I'm happy for you guys. You don't lose that, no matter where you go.
It's called great genetics, Cavin.
Yeah, well.
Yes. I think you got the right name. Yeah.
Listen, a privilege to have you on the podcast. And, we're going to talk about your career, your successes, your learnings, your inspirations. I have to ask you, Cavin, let's rewind to the start of the year. And from a global perspective, when you look at African coaches, I think there are three men on your radar. There's Jemal Belmadi at Algeria, who were doing amazing things and favorites to go and dominate, not just win the African Cup of Nations, given the undefeated run they were on. You had Aliou Cisse, who had the Senegalese golden generation, looking to finally deliver and qualify for the World Cup. And then I'd say Pitso Mosimane, who built the dynasty at Al Ahly with the back-to-back Champions League successes. And then it all changes very quickly. We know what happens at the AFCON, and that sort of goes to script. But Walid Regragui, sorry, let me get that pronunciation right, takes Wydad Casablanca. They win the CAF Champions League. There's almost this symbolic passing of the torch from Pitso to Walid. And then you see the success he achieves in such a short space of time with Morocco, a historic finish. You know North African football. You know Walid Regragui. What have you made of his rapid rise in international football and global football?
There's, we can always talk football, but I don't know him personally, but I do know Pitso Mosimane, and I do know Cisse. You understand what I'm saying? And when I look at the Moroccans, if you've played in Morocco and you've played in front of their supporters, they are crazy. They are a crazy bunch of people. They really push their teams. And this was one of the reasons I thought they were so powerful in the World Cup, because whenever they played, there was a sea of red people. And they have a different way of cheering their team up. And because the one thing that I always noted also is that no World Cup was ever won by a foreigner within that country. And I might be wrong, but all the World Cups that are won are always from the person from that. The coach is always from the country. And this goes back to what the guy from Morocco is all about. He's from Morocco. He knows the culture of the people, firstly. He knows the mentality of those particular players. And he knows how to press the buttons to get those particular players at the highest level. And this is what always helps when you look at why certain countries need a man from their country in order to push them, because it all boils down to how we feel each other. And football is a feeling, because getting you prepared, Zayn, physically is the easiest part. Getting you prepared physically for a game or for a tournament is probably
you
the
haven't
easiest
coached
part.
me yet. It might be the hardest task of your life.
Yeah, that's probably because
I'm lazy.
Yeah, but
Well,
lazy is one thing. Lazy is one thing, but if you're lazy, we'll train for 8 hours. And I got my 4 hours left.
You know, Coach, I'll tell you, you're talking about getting people prepared. I remember when I was at Rangers, Gordon used to take us to the race course, and we used to run around the race course. Just run around the race course. For goodness sake, I'm no horse, man.
Yeah, but now you see, again, we go back there, but we need to understand what we are preparing for. Are you preparing a football player, or are you preparing a racehorse? Unlucky, Courtney. That's not my philosophy. If you ever played for me, you would have loved the game. You would have loved the game from start to finish, if ever you played for me. That's just something I have to put in. But like I say,
Sure.
preparing physically is easy. Yes, the game has gone to another level. You got sports science, you got biokinetics, you got physios. You got to incorporate all those people, Zayn. But that is easy to do. It's in the head, the mentality, and that is what the Moroccans have. When you have a local coach, you just take it back to '96. Clive Barker, who won the AFCON.
Bafana.
Where's he from? He's from Durban.
Of course, Glenwood.
Cisse, where's he from? He's from Senegal. You get what I'm saying?
No,
the guy Lionel, where's he from? He's from Buenos Aires. Carlos Pereira, when he won the World Cup twice, where's he from? He's from Brazil. The German guy, Joachim Löw, when he won, where's he from? He's from Germany. We got to understand that and feel that. I mean, in all respect, Belgium had probably, I think they were ranked number 1 or number 2 in the world.
They were ranked number 2. I think Brazil were 1, Argentina were 3.
Where's Martinez from?
Spaniard.
When it matters most, how do you get in Kevin De Bruyne's feet? How do you get in Lukaku's head? How does it matter most? Because you know what? I'm talking to a Maritzburg guy, talking to a Durbanite. I can tune. We can talk about Bunny Chows. We know what it is.
Coach, Bunny Chow, please. Yes, please.
I'd run for you then, Coach.
Maritzburg make the best bunnies, Coach. Maritzburg make
please.
the
Don't
No, I thought I've always had the best bunny on the bluff.
Hey, you know,
I've
you need a
always had the
passport
best
to
one.
go to that island. But Coach, I was just, again, such pearls of wisdom, and completely get your sense of, you know, if you have a coach from that country or with that heritage, you are potentially going to elicit different feelings of nationalism and playing for the team. But I have to ask you, as you sort of take a step back, and you mentioned earlier, you know, pizza. I mean, that's well known. You were, you know, you've worked with them for extended periods. But I was just wondering, I mean, having seen how successful Walid was at Morocco, I mean, if you were to have a similar type of player and a similar type of setup to Morocco in South Africa, do you think Pizzo could achieve that kind of success with the Bafana team?
I don't know. Probably will. But I don't know if the moment is right. Do you understand what I'm saying, Zayn? I don't know if we have enough. I don't know if we have enough players that are playing at the highest level in the world. You need to have those players. Ziad is playing for Chelsea. Hakimi is playing for Paris Saint-Germain, if I'm right. Or is he playing for
No.
Munich?
He's
Right,
PSG.
coach?
Hakimi's PSG.
He's the right back.
And
You're
he,
right, coach.
as the right back for Paris Saint-Germain.
Yes.
The guy in the middle, the one.
Amrabat's in Italy for
Amrabat.
Fiorentina.
Can you see the name?
The goalkeeper
Fiorentina,
Bono's at Sevilla. And he's the goalkeeper of the
Sevilla.
year there.
Can you see the names, Zayn, what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The number 8. I think the number 8 plays for one of the top teams in Morocco. I don't know what's his name now. I'm telling you, he was very, very influential for me. The guy that rises so high and scores the goal against Portugal.
Ngezi.
Gezia, I don't know where he plays.
Saiss is also based overseas, the captain.
Yes. You get what I'm saying?
Saiss is based at Wolves. He's a Wolves centre-back.
Yes, that's right, Courtney. Now you look at the team that won 96. Where were they? They were also playing at the highest level. Lucas Hadebe was playing for Leeds. Mark Fisher was playing for Lazio, I think.
Eric
Andre
Tinkler
Aronson
was in Italy.
Was in Italy or in Portugal.
David Nyati
Mark Williams was at Wolves, if I'm
David
correct.
Nyati was in St. Gallens, Switzerland.
Yes.
Courtney Freese was at Manning Rangers.
Dr. Kumalo was in Argentina.
Yes, that's correct. But the others, like, for example, Neil Tovey was the captain, but he was playing for the biggest team here. He was playing for Kaizer Chiefs. Shoes Mishwero was playing I think he was playing overseas as well.
Turkey.
Was playing in Turkey for Galatasaray or something like that.
Yeah.
But you understand what I'm saying? It's the names will tell you, because they're playing at a much higher level all the time. Yeah, our players at the moment, when they play 30 games, they're tired. Lionel Messi plays 50 games every season. We have to press for that. And that's what I'm saying, Zayn, if you remember earlier back, we need to press our players to play 40, 50 games a season. And you can't complain. You can't say, I'm tired, I'm lazy. No, it's your job. And my other thing is as well, when that comes back, is whether you get paid 50,000 US dollars a week or 50,000 Rand a month, it doesn't matter. The sport is the same. The sport did not change. And we tend to sell ourselves short when it comes to why you want to be a football player. And you guys spoke about it earlier on when you spoke about Stephen giving a tribute and all those things. At the age of 13, 15, Stephen and them were playing 40 games a season. In his development, that was part of it, to play 40, 50 games a season. So
Coach,
then already,
you're developing him. So, Coach, this is what I want to come to next. You know, you've had such a broad experience in terms of football, but just for people that may not have, and I don't know how this is, that may not know that much about you, can you just give us a bit of a background of yourself? Where did it all start? How did you get involved into football to be actually where you are? Because you've taken gargantuan steps in football for a South African. So can you just take us back to the beginning and how this all originated, your career in football?
It's all down to politics, Courtney. I've always played football in my life, always, since I was 5 years old. But then again, we played in the segregated leagues. I played for Bosman Chelsea for a while. I think maybe 2 seasons. But then I got involved with the coaching. I coached. Then there was a little league called the Celtic Scouts League, when everything came together. It's called the Celtic Scouts League, and I had some players there that even went and played for Kaizer Chiefs. But then I found the bug for coaching, because I was a player. But at the same time, I followed my instinct as far as politics was concerned, whereby the greatest man that is my biggest mentor, Nelson Mandela, said, sport will unite the nation. Sport will bring the world together. And I said, what a better way. If I'm not going to throw stones anymore, let me go and throw these things together. And we got together and I started coaching and got involved with the Chibuku Center in Soweto, which was then a group of people. I call us a group of people. Farouk Khan, Zunaid Mao, Simon Bata, Ted Dumitru was part of it. And we started this whole group. And from there, we started coaching in all the different areas as well. And then we found Neil Tovey. And nobody gives him a lot of credit, Neil Tovey, but we got to give him a little bit credit, yeah? Because he was working for Transnet. And he started the Neil Tovey clinics around the areas. And we were going from here to Durban, Cape Town, Maritzburg, just coaching people. But we came back and we said, Neil, you know what? You're wasting money because we're only going to go back there next year again doing these clinics. Why don't we open up a super center, which we started in Alexander, and from there we opened up the School of Excellence. But while starting the School of Excellence, remember we were teaching each other and getting information from Ted, and Ted was getting information from us because he just come to Africa and we were helping him along, he was helping us along, and we were fighting with each other as far as what coaching is all about. Came the opportunity, we all were able to go to Brazil, study in Brazil, the youth program. I think it was for 1.5 months because then Haviland was still the boss of FIFA. So everything was going to Brazil. And what a better way to start is by going to Brazil and finding out exactly why these Brazilians are so good and why they got 3 World Cups already. We had the opportunity to study in Amsterdam as well, in Holland, which was very, very good. And then we went again back to Brazil and carried on studying, but we ran the School of Excellence. We got a group of 35 boys together from the ages of 10 to the ages of 15, I think. And in that group, Stephen was part of it, but there was bigger other names, Dylan Shepherd, Brett Evans is from Maritzburg, Sean Potgieter is from Maritzburg. The Durban boy was Dylan Shepherd, so he gives up to Durban. I'm just giving you those names. But then out of that group,
Coach, you got 3-1 there. You got 3-1.
Yeah, Maritzburg had better players always. I'm joking.
Don't be sad, Zayn.
But then from that group, you won't believe it, Courtney, Zayn. Out of that group, I think it was 40 players. Out of that group, 36 played professional football. But that was because of our learnings and our understanding of football and our reading of the game and the way we put those players through their paces during the time that they spent at school. But we made sure that most of them finished their schooling. Most of them, or in fact, all of them that was with us in that group finished their schooling. From there, I get a call from Ajax. And people don't know this, but Ajax Amsterdam was supposed to have a collaboration with the School of Excellence. It didn't happen, and Ajax Amsterdam went to Cape Town. Rob Moore and John Comita started Ajax Cape Town.
Coach,
and
can
I got
just
a
come in there? I'm
yeah.
sorry to stop you. And I remember as a young boy going to the School of Excellence. We were the Natal under 20s, and we stayed at the School of Excellence. And I remember meeting a young Dylan Shepherd and him talking about the paces that you guys were put through. And I remember sitting there. I remember we were having breakfast. It was myself and Wendell Robinson, who was the assistant goalkeeper at Sundowns at the moment. We were sitting, and Dylan, who must have been 14 at the time, talking to us about what training they get, how schooling, and I was sitting there in awe, wishing to be him, thinking to myself, I wish I had your opportunity. I didn't even know something like that was happening in South Africa until I met you. Please continue.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, I went to Ajax, Cape Town. They offered me a job. And that I left the school it was in 2000. I went to Ajax, Cape Town, and by then I had done all the necessary things. And because Ajax Amsterdam knew me, because I spent time there and they spent time at the school, we were able to, I went to work there. And from there, there is actually where I got the most opportunity to be number one, a youth coach, like I was at the school, but with a specific group only. I became the chief scout and set up the scouting for them all the time. I became the head of youth there as well at Ajax. And then my last stunt was to become the head coach of Ajax Cape Town, and we saved relegation. You get what I'm saying? And from there onwards, again, Neil Tovey comes into my life, and he offers me the job of head coach, head of youth at Mamelodi Sundowns, because he was taking the first team job. That's the time when he won the league with Miguel Gamondi. I come to Sundowns, and I'm the youth coach for, I'm sure I'm the head of youth for not more than 8 months. Tovey leaves, and they hire Gordon Ingerson. And myself and Gordon worked at Ajax Cape Town. So he comes and says, come and be the assistant. I said, yeah, for sure. I'll be the assistant of Mamelodi Sundowns, and we win the league. We win the league with Sundowns. But the move on after that is another one. I met a very good Argentinian in Miguel Gamondi. We had a very, very good relationship at Sundowns, and he offers me to come and be his assistant at Platinum Stars. That's my first move to a first team as a first team coach. And we go there, and God be with us, we're the first team in Southern Africa to beat Ahly in South Africa. We beat them 2-1 at Lucas Maripe Stadium. And after that, what happens? I set up the whole youth program at Platinum Stars. They were called Silver Stars then, Platinum Stars. And then they sell the team, and it's called, from Silver Stars, they sell the team to Platinum, and they call it Platinum Stars. We go over to Platinum Stars, and they get rid of Gamondi, and they ask me, well, can I set up the youth structure there again? I set up the youth structure. We do a whole youth development program, and they hire, I think they hired Owen De Gama as the head coach, and I said, no, fine. But we set up a good youth structure, myself and Simon Bata. And out of there, Gift Links is born, and Kabomelo Khorsang. They play in they play now in the Portuguese league, and Gift plays in Denmark. So out of 20 players, 2 players again make big names for themselves. But I become the head coach at Platinum Stars, and God willing, we build a nice team, a very, very good team. But the big thing behind that is that we have one of the best facilities in the country, Courtney. We have one of the best facilities. And be as it may be, I work with your uncle, Alan Freese. He's my assistant coach. He's one of the assistants. So we actually do so well with that team that we won 2 trophies, and we come second to Kaizer Chiefs, and we lose by 1 point. And during that time, education-wise, CAF, because I've done all the CAF courses, they offer the CAF Pro license, which is equivalent to the UEFA license, the UEFA professional license. I think it's the A or the B, but it's equivalent to that. And they bring it to South Africa, and we're the first in Africa to do that course. We do that course, quite a few of us. Now, as you speak, there's some of them like Rulani Mokwena. He comes out of that course with us, and we get our CAF or our license that we could work all over the world, even though the ones in Brazil are also qualified. They also qualify you to work all over. And yeah, again, Europeans put emphasis on their license, but they don't put emphasis on our license. They put emphasis on the South American license, but they don't put emphasis on the African license. So for me, the Europeans like to downgrade the Africans, which I'm not a good fan of. But that's what happens. And the next thing after Platinum Stars, we go to, who do we go to? We go to Super Sport. We do a fairly good job there. But because of the results, something happens, we part ways. After Super Sport, where do we go to? We go to Amazulu. Amazulu was an interesting one because I'm with your people, Zayn.
No, my people, coach, the Zulus.
Yeah, we there, and we are building something.
I'm a Golden Arrows man.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, even if he's a Golden Arrows, even if he's a Golden Arrows man.
The Zulus are the biggest in Natal.
For sure.
So don't come here with Abafana Bestende. Lamontville Golden Arrows.
No, but for sure, Courtney and Zayn, in all respect, for me, that is the biggest team in South Africa. Or it can be if run properly. Because then I can wipe Golden Arrows out and I can wipe Maritzburg United out. I can wipe you out if there's no team in the world that's called Amazulu. And that's the difference. There's no team in the world that can be called Barcelona. When you talk about Barcelona, you talk about only one Barcelona. You see what I'm saying? If you understand the feeling I get, yeah, we have a good time at Amazulu, but we're on top of the log. We're second on the log. The league has just started. I'm second on the log. One morning I get there, I look at the log, we number last. This is after 6 games. What happened? Phone the boss. No, they deducted 6 points from us. Deducted 6 points. We lose. Why? Because they never paid some fine they had with FIFA and things like that. So we out. We can't sign players, nothing. But we carry on and we have a good season there and we have a good time. And we end up good. We save relegation. We sell a player for I think 13 million rand that season. So we do all right. The team is strong and we're good. But as football is always, certain things don't go your way administratively, and you part ways. We're at home for a few months. Yeah.
Let me come in there because I'm looking at this bag of experience you have, and I'm talking it's a big bag. Then you have the opportunity to go to Egypt with all this experience, with all that you have behind you, with your training, to be involved in Africa's biggest club. How did that move come about?
It was COVID, and we were all at home. Remember, the world was at home, and nothing was happening. And when COVID opened up, I got a call from Pizzo. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm doing nothing." He says, "You want to come to Ahly?" I said, "No, I follow world football, and when you talk about club of the century and things like that, when something like that is offered to you, you don't say no. You join." And in all respect, going there was really, really, really the answer to all my questions that I had or that I spoke to you about initially about diversity, understanding the player, understanding the culture, looking at the league, how it's run, what they have done to make sure that they have the 120 million people, 60 million support Ahly. Why does 60 million support this team? Why? And when you look at the way the club is structured, the way they do things, then you can understand why 60 million people support Ahly. But Courtney and Zayn, it's not only Ahly. Maybe it's because they've got 120 million people. But you know that Simba have 12 million people support them. Wydad Casablanca have about, I think they also have 15, 20 million people support them. It's the way they run their club. And it's the same like Barcelona. Barcelona is not a football club. And I think Manchester United is also not a football club. And so is Manchester City, not a football club. Ajax Amsterdam is not a football club. It is a social club. And that is where the diversity comes in. That is where the feeling for the players comes in. Because Ahly is a social club. There are people there that are playing hockey, they're running, they're swimming, they're doing long jump, they're playing tennis, but they all belong to Ahly. It's like you. You've been out of the country since 2001. But you know what? You still have your Manning Rangers badge. And you still pay the money to Manning Rangers. You understand what I'm saying, Courtney? And that is what they have developed. And that is why wherever you go in North Africa, if you fly from Egypt to Morocco and you get off the plane, there's Ahly fans. They still pay their dues to the club in order to, when they go back home, they're able to walk in the restaurant and pay half the price for any meal they want. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I learned. That's why they're known as the club of the century, because they thrive on that.
Which brings you back to two words you mentioned a bit earlier, Coach. You mentioned words like culture and mentality. And this is what you're talking about in regards to that club. So I want to follow on here. As an experienced manager, what could you feel that you've learned from it that you could possibly take into your next job?
That you have to get the players to be athletes first. They must want to be athletes. And like Zayn says, I can't run for so many hours. You have to make sure they're athletes first. You've got to get the right balance. And unfortunately, in our country at the moment, the only people that can get that balance right is Sundowns. Why? Because the money is there. And it looks like we are being pushed by money all the time. And it's not the way it's supposed to work. You know, and I have that experience, Courtney, whereby I had a platinum stars, but I did not have the money. Those guys were not earning big money. But because I had the physics, because I had the facility, I was able to manipulate them into being proper athletes. You see what I'm saying? For example, the fact that we needed to do a recovery after every game, and players wouldn't come to training the following day because once you play a game, they go out and the next day, they all of a sudden sick, they got flu, their mother's dying or something like that. They have a lot of excuses because that's the type of person they are, or the type of person they grew up to see. It's right. You know, when you work hard, come Friday, you must go out. So what we used that facility to its fullest. For example, if we went out and we played, we knew we had to come back to the campus, you know, for the players to go take their cars and then leave and go wherever they wanted to go. Some of them is 1 hour, they back in Johannesburg, they leave at 4 o'clock, they're back in Rustenburg. You don't know where they were. You know, we had a player that had a girlfriend in Durban that once we finish play, he drives to Durban, he drives back the next day. He drives to Durban, does his thing, drives back again, and is there for the next training at 3 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? We had a player that was like that. So what we did was, because we had all the necessary equipment and everything, at 4 o'clock when we get to Rustenburg, in the ice, we do the recovery. They would complain, that, but then after they started realizing, guys, if we do it properly, this man will be able to do this and we'll be able to live better. That's how it is, I think.
I have to come in there, Cavin, because you've brought up something that regular listeners to the podcast would know. And if you're listening out there, please send us your questions. OTW_podcast. Find us on Twitter. Find us on Instagram. Find us on YouTube. Find us on Facebook. You just need to search that.